and welcome. I'm Craig Harrington, and the topic of today's discussion is the record budget for the Department of Education. Arne Duncan, the former Chicago schools chief and acting Secretary of Education, will have more money than any of his predecessors, and he'll have more discretion, personal discretion, as to how that money gets used than any Secretary of Education in U.S. history. Usually, Congress controls the purse strings for the Secretary of Education, but through the economic stimulus plan, Arne Duncan will be in control of almost $100 billion, and he'll largely be able to use that money as he sees fit. Last year, the Department of Education got just $59 billion from the federal government. This year, its budget was nearly doubled. Of the $100 billion that it will be able to use, $26.5 billion will go directly to primary and secondary education programs in the United States. Another $24.8 billion will go into school construction and renovation, bringing our schools up to date with modern facilities around the world. The rest of the money will be divvied up among other programs, but one of the most important is $17.5 billion that will be directed at universities and higher education services. All of these programs, primary and secondary education, higher education, universities, and most importantly, the construction and renovation of our own schools, have been left out for decades. The President's budgetary measures and Congress's budgetary plans have left out our education system, and it has fallen behind the rest of the world. The United States education system used to be a world leader, but it currently ranks between 25th and 30th in the world in education systems. There are over 200 countries in the world, so it would seem being in the top 10% or near the top 10% would be a good thing for the U.S. But we used to be number one. And it's important to note that of the 30 or so countries which rank ahead of the United States, every single one of them is an industrial country. The United States thinks that it's industrialized and thinks that it's developed, but we rank dead last in the industrialized world in our education. This has made our students uncompetitive with their competition around the world. Our students get a lesser quality of education, particularly in math, science, and language, than other students in Japan, China, Europe, Australia, or pretty much anywhere else. These countries are our suppliers, they're our creditors, they're our bankers, and they produce a better quality of student than we do. As was suspected, President Obama did use the economic stimulus package to push through budgetary measures which he wanted to leave out of his overall federal budget plan. The President has called for a balanced federal budget, and it would be impossible to do so while allocating $100 billion to the Department of Education. But in this case, the money is desperately needed. As much as anything else, the United States needs a better education system so we can provide a better foundation and future for our children and their children. This money will be put to good use, and the United States needs it. On behalf of concerned citizens, I'm Craig Harrington with economyincrisis.org.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!
Produced by economyincrisis.org.